Welcome to Little Bracket of Horrors, the pod that puts a fight in fright. Welcome to Little Bracket of Horrors. I am Derek, and today I have two guests with me. First one is Roger R. Say hi, Roger.
Hello.
Hello. Shelly was unable to make it out to this recording, so I called on a good friend of mine, a local friend of mine, to come record with us, and a friend of Shelly as well. So, Raj, thanks for coming out and talking to us today about Dashcam. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And then a very special guest. We have our listener, longtime listener, first-time recorder with us, Rey M. Ray, how you doing today, bud?
Doing great. How are you?
Yeah, we're doing good. I just got back from my son at a soccer match this morning.
Yeah.
It was a nail biter. They were down 4-0 at halftime, but then they came back and won 5-4. So shout out to the Sterlings. Let's go,
All
Sterlings.
right. That's good, man. That's great.
Yeah, but we had a fun day. How was your day today, Ray?
Oh, it was good. Just chilling, Sunday. It's usually what we do. Just hang out.
Yeah.
Get ready for work.
Exactly. Sunday's always the prep day for the rest of the week. Like to chill and unwind is what they say.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Roger, how about you? How was your day today?
It's been good, Derek. I had a muffin when I woke up. I've been sitting on my couch watching football, and I drove an hour here in traffic. So,
Well, you're a college football fan. Are you a Bucks fan too?
yes.
Local to the. All right. So we, as everyone knows, we're local to the Tampa area. So I think the Bucks play tonight, don't they?
8 o'clock.
Nice. Oh, we'll be wrapped up and you'll be ready.
That's
to go.
why we got to get this going.
We gotta
Come on, come on. Dashcam, 4 steps. All right.
Yeah.
Done.
Perfect. My beloved Steelers ate it last night. They got absolutely worked over by the Ravens. So here we are. Look at that. We're missing Shelly for one episode, and we're starting to talk about American football. So here we are. But Ray, with you, this being your first time, we always like to ask our first time recorders a couple questions so our listeners can get a gauge on your horror background. So, are you ready to answer some questions?
Yes, sir. I got it.
All right, perfect. So, Ray, first question: what's the first horror movie you remember watching?
So the first horror movie I remember watching as a kid, it wasn't really a movie. It was a documentary. It was called Terror in the Isles. And we had it recorded on a video cassette, at my parents' house. And I remember that it was narrated by Donald Pleasance and that actress from the RoboCop 1. I don't know her name. I forgot.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was just basically highlighting all the little reels from all the old horror movies and them talking about it. And, all the movies at the time was the 80s.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of Halloween, a bunch of other ones. But yeah, that's the first movie I remember.
I thoroughly enjoy watching any documentaries on like horror films. Like there's documentaries on Giallo films from Shudder that's available. They also have one on like folk horror. Any horror documentaries are always good. So that it is a good leadway for someone who might be interested in it to like get a grasp on like, oh, these are good movies to check out. So that's kind of a nice introduction to the genre for you. How old were you when you were a kid? Do you remember watching that?
I want to say around probably 9 years old, 9 or 10.
Wow. Yeah. That's about the age when Ian got a little bit. My son, he got a little bit more brave and wanted to check out like Gremlins and stuff like that, like Monster Squad and all that. So that's a perfect age to pique your interest to the horror genre. So that's awesome.
Oh yeah, man.
Next question: what's the scariest thing that's ever happened to you?
I think the scariest thing that probably happened to me was when I was a kid. We took my grandfather. He was from Lockhart, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So we took him there to Lockhart, me and my mom, and we went to go see some relatives at a graveyard down there. And I remember, walking through the graveyard, looking at this tombstone, and there was a card signed that was playing music, but the card was dated from like a year ago.
Mm.
It was still playing music, which I thought was kind of spooky.
Yeah, that's very, very creepy.
Yeah, it always I still remember it to this day, man. It's like I was like, what the hell is going on, man?
You know, when you're a kid, anything that happens that's just like very unsettling, those things stick with you. They carry through to your adulthood, and you can still, you know, you can remember those vibes and those feelings even as, you know, 20, 30, 40-year-old, whatever it is. So, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So
Hmm.
I can definitely understand that for sure.
Yep.
So, next question is, what would you rather be bitten by? This is a popular one. What would you rather be bitten by? Vampire, zombie, or werewolf?
So I picked werewolf.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they're just way cooler,
Oh yeah.
and they're not looking for like love or anything like that, like Dracula tried
They're
to.
taking it.
They're just beasts trying to eat and kill, and
Yeah.
it's just a lot simpler being a werewolf.
Yeah. Very animalistic, obviously. And also, as far as I'm concerned, and Shelly and I have discussed this before, but much more manageable. You know when the full moon's coming. You can, you know, if you don't want to go ham on some villagers, you can shackle yourself up. So, yeah, totally. Team werewolf. Glad to add another one to the list.
Yeah, man, great.
All right. So next question is Ray. Who do you think wins in a fight? Freddy, Jason, or Michael Myers?
I got to give it to Freddy, man.
Mm,
Because I mean, he can cross two realms or two worlds, however you want to call it. The
yeah.
dream world. It's just an overall advantage, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to go with Freddy on this one.
I agree. I said Freddy as well. Roger, didn't you say when we asked you? Didn't you say Jason or something like that? I can't remember what your answer was. Do you remember?
Hmm. I think it was Jason.
Yeah,
If I had to choose,
just the bruteness of him. Yeah.
we can't kill Jason.
Well, yeah. How many movies do we have? 14.
No.
He's
12,
also in space.
12.
12. Yeah. Okay. All right, Ray. Final question. What is your favorite scary movie?
So my favorite scary movie is the '90s version of It, the original OG.
Oh, yeah, the OG one.
Yeah, it
Tim
was like
Curry.
it was. Yeah, Tim Curry. Yep, and the guy from the Waltons, Richard Thomas, was in it too.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. It was a two-part series back then, and it was aired on TV. And I remember my parents were watching it, and I got real interested into it. And then I waited for the next night for the part two to come out, and
Mm,
yeah, ever since then I've loved it. The remakes are good too, but
yeah.
it's never gonna be the same as the original.
No, it's tough. Pennywise is so much a part of what that performance was by Tim Curry. It's and I enjoyed the Skarsgård guys redoing of it a couple years back, but
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
what a absolute classic character for the horror genre. So that's great. That's a great favorite scary movie. And if you want to next year, you can submit it for us to hopefully land on, and we'll get you on the podcast again.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
We're getting to the end. We
Awesome.
only have 2 more movies after this, and then we're
Oh
doing our
yeah,
wheel, dude. Yeah, we're getting
awesome, man.
close. I know, so close. All right, so that takes us through meeting Ray. I hope everyone has a little grasp on our visitor today, and with that, we're gonna get into Roger. Watch anything scary or anything scary happen? Play a little catch up.
I've seen some scary stuff.
Ooh, you got a list
Uh,
on your phone? Oh, you're going to Letterbox?
Just to jog the old memory.
Yeah, yeah.
Lisa and I watched a few because we're gonna do a 2024
Ooh, yeah. I
special
was just gonna get into that.
special
Yeah.
episode. So we've been catching up.
Yeah.
We've watched Your Monster.
Your monster.
Yeah, it's the one with the girl from Scream, and she going through some stuff, and her monster appears, and they
Oh, okay.
try to get through her personal
It's
things together. It's actually it was pretty good. Came out
Which
with
is it Melissa Barrera or
yeah,
whatever?
yeah.
Okay.
That one.
All right.
Yeah, and we
Cool.
caught up, watched like Trap, Strange Darling.
I did watch Trap. I haven't seen Strange Darling. I do want to check that out.
Highly recommended.
recommend?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool.
That one was awesome.
Yeah.
So I saw the TV Glow.
I watched that too, like 2 weeks back.
Not gonna watch that one again.
That was a little loopy. Oh, what was the show on that called? Pink O'Peck or whatever.
The Pink Opaque.
Oh my gosh.
And one of my favorite movies of 2024, The Substance. And we'll
Ooh,
get
The
more into
Substance? Okay.
more of that.
Yeah,
on
there
the
we are.
Best of
Oh, I
episode.
want to watch that one, man. The Substance.
Yeah, I had to. I had to rent it on Amazon Prime, I think, but it was only like $6 to rent there. So, It's not that expensive. If you're into body horror, I would totally check
Yeah.
out The Substance. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to, but yeah, it's hard with the 2-year-old
Oh, I
running
know.
around. Oh man,
Ray,
it's
I sympathize with you. When my son was first born, it was like the first 4 or 5 years. I just like I wasn't able to watch anything, and he was a big, he's a big scaredy cat kid. It's turned around a little bit recently, but it was so tough to watch stuff in the evenings because any kind of noise in the TV, and we didn't live in a big house, so he would wake up and it was like I can't watch this stuff. So
yeah.
my heart goes out to you, Ray. What about you, Ray? Have you watched anything recent or anything scary happen recently?
We watched this movie. What was it called? An Incident in Ghostland,
Okay.
and yeah, it was pretty out there. It was pretty. It wasn't like jump scares or nothing. It was kind of like a psychological thing. I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but I would recommend checking it out.
Okay.
It's got a great ending too. Yeah.
Yeah. Where's it available at? Did you watch it on like Tubi or?
I think my wife rented it. I don't know where she rented it off, but it's out there for available. It's available to stream.
Okay. Nice. So for myself, Roger alluded to it, but Ray, you'll hear this first. I'll start posting on our social medias, but we're going to be doing a top 5 horror films of 2024 episode, and
Okay.
Roger and his wife are going to join me on that episode. So to cram for it, I had a couple movies I had to knock off my list, and that was Nosferatu I saw last week, Terrifier 3, and The Substance. I won't go into great detail about either of them because any of those movies because they might be on my lists. But The Substance, if you're into body horror, I think this is gonna scratch that itch for you. Terrifier 3, if you like art and you like to see art do what art does, you're gonna obviously get in there. So go for that. And then Nosferatu was just like a vibe, like a gothic vampire movie. Like Eggers hit the nail on the head with that type of movie, and he did it again. So. Yeah, there you go, Ray. We're doing a special episode. Actually, I think we're gonna drop it a week from this episode drop, so we'll be busy at the end of January. But yeah, look out for that. We're gonna have a top 5 horror films of 2025 with Derek and some friends, Roger and Lisa.
Awesome, man. I look forward to it.
Yeah, and Ray, I'll put it out on the socials, but I want to know your guys' top 5 as well. So we'll put it out, post it up, and then we'll have a section in the episode where you can give me your top 5 horror films of 2024.
Awesome. Okay, cool.
Awesome. All right, so let's get into Dashcam, and we're going to kick this off how we kick them all off with Dig Up the Bones. And that's where I introduce the movie and give a brief summary. So, Dashcam is a found footage / live stream horror film released on June 3rd, 2022. Directed and written by Rob Savage. Other credits include The Boogeyman, Host, and Salt. Co-written by Gemma Hurley and Jed Shepard, and they both worked on Host along with numerous other projects with Rob. So there's some co-writers. Sound design, Column Sample. Other credits include Stop Dead, a TV series Ladhood, and Host. Special effects supervisor is Mike Knights. Other credits include Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, Consecration, and One Ranger. Production companies, Blumhouse Productions, Shadow House Films, and Boo Earns. Distributed by Momentum Pictures. Sequels, prequels, we got none. Budget for this film, $100,000. And then at the box office, it only made $70,585. Rotten Tomatoes score, 47% on the tomato meter, and then 35% on the audience popcorn meter. Let's get to our cast. Starring Annie Hardy as Annie Hardy. Other credits include nothing. She's a musician in real life, and though she is solo, she did sing in a band called Giant Drag, which was referenced in a movie. But next up, we have Amar Patel as Stretch. Other credits include Doom Annihilation, William Tell, and the TV series Willow. Angela and Enora as Angela. And other credits, none. This was a one-and-done project. Mogala Musaku as Angela's mother. Other credits include Drift, Like No Tomorrow, an Apocalypse anthology, and the video game Skull and Bones. Do you play video games at all, Ray?
No, not really.
Yeah.
I play one mobile game on my phone. That's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roger, do you play? I know you play some games. I think this is a PC game, Skull and Bones. Does that sound familiar?
I've heard of it.
Okay.
I am a frequent video game player.
Me too. I'm just getting into it. But yeah, I like some PC games. I like to play some scary games. Last night I was playing Escape the Backrooms. I don't know if you've ever seen. It's like an analog horror video game, and there's just monsters and you have to complete tasks. Very scary. My wife can tell you how loud I was screaming. And then finishing off with our cast is Gemma Moore as Gemma. Other credits include host, Scare Package 2, Rad Chad's Revenge, and the TV series Red Eye. So Dashcam. Through her live stream, an insufferable musician, Ann Hardy's night takes a dangerous turn after she agrees to help transport an elderly woman to 214 Timberline Way. With the help of her friend Stretch, they set out on a horror-fueled road trip and live stream the most terrifying night of their lives. So that is Dashcam. Ray, you submitted it to us. Tell us why, Ray. Why'd you give this movie to us?
So Dashcam, yeah. I remember I watched it on a recommendation because I'm in a few Facebook horror groups, and it was recommended, and I watch a lot of movies based on these recommendations from Facebook. Some are good, some are bad, but this one I really liked. And it really, that's why I recommended. I feel that I felt it was a really great horror movie.
Awesome. Roger, I reached out to you a couple days ago, actually, to see if you'd want to fill in for Shelly. Did you have any kind of background with knowing Dashcam, or was this a first time for you?
First time watched, but I've heard the movie before. I've heard it used on other podcasts similar to this one, and I like my found footage movies, so
yes.
I was interested in watching this one.
Awesome.
So here I am.
Here you are, Roger.
Yes.
Yeah, I knew nothing of this. I'm not a big found footage guy myself, but I was excited. I was mostly excited to get to watch a movie that Ray suggested above everything else. So yeah, that was my background. Not too much. Next up, Feasting Fiends. And this is where we get into our topics of overall pros, cons of the movie, characters, dialogue, and then our favorite kills / scares. And just so you guys are aware, Shelly did watch this, and she submitted some notes for me, so I will include her thoughts as we go through this. But Ray, since this was your movie you brought to us, please kick us off with your pros.
All right, so the pros for me for this movie, the COVID setting, maybe it's not really a pro or a con, I guess, but I'll just put it as a pro. It brought back a lot of memories for me and dealing with that whole situation, like being having reduced hours at work.
Yeah.
Essential worker classification, like a lot what Stretch was going through
Mm-hmm.
when he was introduced to the movie. The special effects were great. I think it was just the perfect amount of gore.
Yeah, the special effects were really, really good.
Oh yeah, and good jump scares. And I think also the main pro for me is that I think the whole live streaming look of that movie, with all the comments on the left side and going at a fast rate, it really brought me more into the movie. I caught myself a few times trying to keep up with the little viewers' comments on the left.
Yeah.
Hoping maybe there was something in the comments that would add to the story.
Yeah, I was doing that too. I think on a second watch, I was like, let me pay attention to this chat a little bit more.
Right? Yeah. But yeah, I think this day and age, the movies, they have to adapt to, what's going on in society, social networks and live streaming, because it's so mainstream now, not like it was 15, 20 years ago. I think there was also a movie called Unfriended that I watched that was kind of like that whole setup with Facebook Messenger webcams during the whole movie, and it just shows that the writers and directors, they are making an effort to keep up with current times and try new things.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, with the added technology as we move along in life, the implementation of it to our horror movies is definitely an interesting thing to see. And when I know with Rob Savage's first film, Host, it was like a Zoom call, like a Zoom call conversation, like over the computer. So and I think he filmed that one during the COVID quarantines as well. So it's an interesting take, and it's a new way to deliver us jump scares. So yeah, you got to appreciate that, I think.
Definitely.
Awesome. Roger, what about you? What do you have for pros?
I like that it was a lot fast paced. I never got bored during it. A lot of stuff going on. They had a lot of elements in the background of scenes that took your eyes off it. You miss them.
Yeah, I mean, in the chat, they're constantly telling us, "Look behind you."
Yeah, stuff like that. Which is cool.
Yes.
I thought it was shot well, edited well together. For $100,000, it's a good looking movie.
I was gonna say that too. For the budget that it had, the effects work on it, and the special effects were pretty solid. So I would agree with that as well. All right, so Shelly's not with us today, but I will share some of hers. She said some good gore. She agrees with Ray, and then the cult aspect, but wishes that there was more. So towards the end, at the Timberline Way place with all the people, she wanted more information on that, and then the ending because it was over. That's one of her pros. I love it.
Yeah, this movie got a lot of hate, man.
It is very divisive. So, Ray, as you know, because you listen to the episodes, I always deep dive into these movies. And it is a very polarizing movie, which, it gets into the anti-vax stuff a little bit. So I can understand the polarization of it. But, all right, for my pros, the kill/effects, I think the special effects coordinator deserves a lot of credit, which Mike Knight, I shouted him out earlier. But for anything positive about this movie, and then from Angela's mother's arm break with the steering wheel, and then to the weird creature that came out of her mouth, it was fantastic work. And I wanted to highlight those two parts because I thought they were absolutely stupendous on the effects department. Also with this movie, I think a bonus to it, because something like this can drag on a little bit, but the short runtime, and for this style of found footage, it's smart to keep the runtime to like just an hour, just around that sweet spot. So, with it being short, I like how they crammed as much action, like Roger was saying, into the film as possible. And it made the middle and the final thirds of the film fun as we went from like insanity to insanity. And it became very action packed. So I like that part of it. And most of the songs were very sophomoric and very crass, but I did enjoy Butt Buffet a lot. I thought it was a good song, and I laughed at it. And then especially because it was right after the conversation where Annie was giving Stretch, I guess, crap in front of Gemma that he was taking fruit and inserting it into special holes for groupies. So I was like, what a perfect song for them to sing right after that, Butt Buffet. So yeah, those are my pros. All right, Ray, give me your cons, bud.
All right, so cons. I think the raunchy comedy was used a little bit too much. I mean, it didn't bother me what they were talking about, but I think it was just hanging on the edge of being just the right amount to being too much.
Yeah.
It kind of was going back and forth. Also, I think the political stuff could have been left out. I think that the movie wasn't the time and place for it, but that's manageable.
Yeah.
I want a little bit more of a backstory as to why Angela grew old so fast, why she had an Ariana Grande tattoo, and more,
yeah,
and more insight into the cult that they showed at the end for like 5 seconds.
Yes, yeah, I totally agree. And I think at a time when, the whole COVID stuff was, and people pro-science, anti-science, whatever side people thought they were on, and just everyone sort of being at each other's throats over it. What a move to be like, I'm going to make a movie with this character who's just like very strong one side. And what a move by Rob Savage. I don't think it paid off, but what a move.
Yeah.
Roger, what did you not like about Dashcam?
Dialogue stuff. It just felt a little forced. And there's a lot of talk about butts.
Yeah, so you didn't like Butt Buffet?
Butt Buffet was just a lot of butt talk during this whole movie from start to finish.
There's a lot of talk about like doing stuff with your dad too.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. And I saw a MAGA hat.
Oh yeah.
So
she busted out did you see the little Donald Trump bobblehead in the one card too?
Yeah, I'm like, oh god. I was like, I hope he die.
Oh my god. All right, any more cons?
No, that was about it.
All right. So here we go. I'm going to give Shelly's cons first, and then I'll finish with mine. So Shelly said she did not enjoy the found footage. She thought it was awful. And she did not like the comments on the screen. It was just distracting. She didn't think it was good. And then Annie made her cons. She said she was so bad she was a con. And then she just questioned, how is this Blumhouse? Which, yeah, they got the little Blumhouse chair in the beginning. Those are Shelly's cons. Mine are, so I feel like it's way too open-ended with no answers at all. Like we talked about a little bit earlier, like what's with the cult? How does Angela, what does she have to do with them? And why is this young girl like rapidly aging? There's so many questions. And that is not saying that everything always needs to be tied up in a nice bow for me. But when you create this clearly supernatural world and then you don't bother to show how it became this way, it just feels like they took the easy way out in leaving it open-ended. Stop making me fill in the blanks. Give me something. At least give me something. Right. So I'm not a fan when you create too many questions and no answers. So that was a con for me. When things were going off the rails, Annie was still saying like crass things, and it didn't feel realistic. Like, I understand you're this girl who likes to talk about wieners and butts and all this shit, but when the world is falling apart and you're being attacked by this supernatural monster, how are you asking Stretch if he has a boner? Like, how is that in your mind? Like, it just was so unrealistic. And the poop is never fun. The scene with Angela, like, it's just so gross. It actually reminded me. Have you ever seen The Visit, Ray?
Yes.
Roger, have you seen The Visit?
I have seen The Visit.
Okay, so you guys know what I'm talking about. The diaper scene.
Oh.
Which the son in that movie also raps. So there's a lot of similarities there. But I'm grossed out by poop.
You're not a poop guy.
I'm not a poop guy. I don't know if I know anyone. Ray, you're not a poop guy, are you?
No poop.
Yeah, you have to deal with it enough with having a.
I'm up to my neck in poop.
Yeah.
Can I submit 2 Girls 1 Cup for next season?
Can you submit what?
2 Girls 1 Cup for next season?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Where is it available, Roger? Why don't you tell us?
Wherever streaming is available.
All right, there you go. All right, so that takes us through our cons. Guys, let's move into characters. Ray, take it away.
My favorite character, it's Annie Hardy. She got. I mean, reading all the reviews and the Facebook comments on this movie, man, she got a lot of hate.
Yeah.
But a lot of reactions were, that she was the most annoying character everyone has ever seen. Oh, she was so this, so that. I thought she was great, Mm-hmm. The character was supposed to be obnoxious and immature and unlikable and crass, like you said, and I think she really did her job.
Yeah. In doing backgrounds on this movie, listen to a lot of different podcasts, and there's a lot of people out there that they don't agree with Annie's politics, but they enjoyed an anti-hero. So for some people, even if they didn't agree, like, that's still something that was like they did enjoy that character. All right, Roger, what about you, characters? What do you have?
I like Stretch.
Yeah, Stretch. You like Stretch?
Just trying to DoorDash and earn some money, and
he's trying to survive.
Annie's just a bad friend. Steals his car. Gets some killed later on, and all kinds of stuff. But I did have a note here to say for you to explain the reason for his nickname, so Ian, your son, could hear when he listens to this podcast. But he was
so tall. That was the reason for. He's such a tall guy. Yeah. His name is Stretch.
How about we pull back the curtain, Derek, and you go into detail.
The curtain's staying closed.
Ian, listen closely.
I've already talked about it. The fruit in the groupies.
I would prefer a banana.
But
what fruit would you prefer?
Probably banana.
Yeah.
I'm not excited about it. Let me tell you, I'm not excited. Ray, I guess we're gonna ask you what fruit is in your butt buffet.
Oh.
Nothing too wide. I want to go pear or apple.
Ooh, pineapple.
Ugh, that would hurt.
Oh.
Yeah. It's got to be banana. That's the only acceptable fruit, I feel like.
Yeah, banana.
Peel or peel off?
Okay, that's better.
Peel.
Yeah.
Peel off?
Nope. Yeah, take the peel off. Yeah. I'd rather just have a mess of a banana back there. Well, Ray, this is officially going off the rails. Thanks, Roger.
You're welcome.
All right, so for characters, let's. Shelly said, hated them all. Thank God Angela killed them all. So there you go from Shelly on the characters.
Well, did she like Angela then? To Shelly, that's her hero of the movie.
Angela?
The hero, Angela. Angela's the hero. So, for me, for characters, they were lean on characters, and I'll just run through them real quick. Annie, I said, fuck off forever, Annie. Go away, Annie. But Stretch, I said, how are you still hanging out with Annie? You know, I don't usually root for a sympathetic character to die, but your shit choice in Friends led you to an early grave, and you know what? I guess that's life. That's life for Stretch. So, for Gemma, I had Gemma as the GOAT of this film. Stretch should have listened to his girlfriend, and Gemma had some common sense. So Gemma was my GOAT. Angela, dear young, I guess, Angela. How does a demon lady lose to this blabbering twig? How did she take you out? That bummed me out. You should have finished Annie off. Like, you had so many chances. And the last character I will talk about is Angela's daughter. Get better with a shotgun. You're the worst. You're like a stormtrooper. You're just missing left and right, hitting trees. But she did have a really cool death, so I'm not bummed out by her too much. And we'll get into that soon enough. But yeah, that was just my rundown on the characters. Ray, next up, we got dialogue. Did you have any dialogue you want to highlight and talk about?
Oh yeah, definitely. The one line that stood out for the whole movie for me was, it was towards the end, the little monsters slithering around and chasing her, and I don't know, Annie just says, "You seeming demon."
Yeah.
I started freaking laughing so hard. Like you said earlier, you have these intense situations you're in, and then you're coming up with this trying to be funny. And yeah,
Like,
I don't know, but I
you?
really like that scene. Yeah.
Who are you as a person? Yeah. All right, Raj, what do you got? Dialogue.
I wrote that I didn't like any of the dialogue in this movie. That was my con.
That's true. That was your
like,
con. You weren't a fan of the dialogue.
So I didn't write any quote.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember any.
So Shelly's in the same camp with you. She said nothing. She's got nothing for dialogue. And I will say, this movie was highly improvised. Just like, we did Paranormal Activity. That was improvised. Annie was just given like bullet points to talk about. I will say, there was a part when Annie was fighting Angela in the backseat of the car, and then somehow Annie subdued her with that seatbelt. Annie, this whole movie was going on and on about the mask stuff, but she yelled at her, "Put on a mask," as she put the plastic bag over her. And in that moment, I thought it was funny that she mentioned for her to put on a mask, because she was like, this demon lady that's attacking her told her to put on her mask. So that moment I thought was funny, much like you thought the semen demon was funny. So let's move on into favorite kills / scares. Ray, take it away, bud.
All right, my favorite kill scene was it Angela's mom got her head torn off?
Oh yeah, it was so good.
That was pretty like, whoa, like it was shot great. It looked great. It looked realistic. Oh man, it was awesome. My favorite jump scare during the movie was, I think Stretch had got into a head-on collision with a married couple.
Yes.
So I think Annie was going and checking out the other car, and the bride was on the steering wheel, dead. And then boom, the airbag goes off, and it made me jump. Yeah.
It got Ray. You're in my notes because those were both of my favorite kills and my favorite scares. Like that airbag deployment, the activation of it, that got me, and I was like, "Oh man, what a great scare!"
Ray's also in me as well.
Ray's inside you as well.
I also have that marked down in my notes. Yes.
No, but to speak on the kill of Angela's mom, wasn't expecting it at all. Like when we found out that was her daughter, and I was like, I wasn't expecting her to take her mom out, and then. Credit to Rob Savage. One of the things I don't like about found footage films is the fact that things get shaky when they get good. That scene, there was zero shakiness. There was a clear head rip off and just like blood splurting all over the place. So I will give that to Rob Savage, that the ability of when those moments were happening, we clearly saw them. And like the arm break with Angela's mom again, that was gnarly. Roger, did you have anything else you wanted to add and kills or scares? Because Ray just said everything I wanted to say.
You pretty much talked about what I liked.
Nice. All right, so Shelly said her favorite was the mirror kill where they're in the fun house, and Angela crashed through the mirror and like pulled Stretch in, was like tearing him apart. So moving on, let's go to final cut. And this is where I told the ending of the film, and we discussed and give our ratings of 1 to 5 stabs. 1 stab, no redeeming value. 2 stabs, bad. 3 stabs, mediocre. 4 stabs, good. 5 stabs, masterpiece. So Angela chases Annie and Stretch to an abandoned amusement park. There, Angela kills Stretch. Annie escapes in a car, but Angela chases her to a crash. Angela pushes the car into a lake with her powers, but Annie traps Angela in the car and escapes. Annie finds a remote house and realizes it's the destination she was supposed to take Angela to originally. Inside the house, Annie finds occult symbols and cult members who kill themselves. Angela shows back up and attacks Annie, but Annie kills her with a knife to the mouth. A creature emerges from Angela's mouth and chases Annie. Annie kills the creature with her keyboard, and she then collapses in Stretch's car and starts a live stream where she raps about her experience and has a coughing fit. The end. So that was the end of Dashcam. Ray, how did you feel about the ending of the film?
I liked it. I mean, it was maybe I wanted a little bit more from the ending, like, you know, more of a story of, you know, what the cult was, what the semen demon was, you know, the reasons why stuff was going on. But I mean, it was an all right ending. I mean,
yeah. Roger, how do you feel about the ending of the film?
I'm glad it was over, and I like the part where all the cult people slit their throats at the same time. They all like kind of died. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was very creepy.
I probably should have wrote that down, my best kills thing, but I didn't. But it was good.
No, it was good. They had this just like this dead look in their eyes, and then they all slit their throats, and there's just blood goes everywhere. So it was a very cool scene. Would have liked, you know, like everyone said, would have loved to got more tidbits on this occult aspect of the movie. But for me, the ending, I was so bummed because I thought the semen demon was gonna take Annie out, and it was gonna be gnarly, and because everyone else got a gnarly death in this movie, so I was waiting for Annie's for us to get that, and we didn't get it, and then she's just in the car rapping again. So let's see, Shelly, if she said anything. Let me just double check. Nope, she gave me nothing. So, all right, guys, let's give it our stabs. Ray, what do you stab Dashcam 2022? Because there's another Dashcam out there too. So what do you stab this one?
That's crazy, man.
I know. Actually, I think it came out the same year too, which is nuts.
Wow.
But the other Dashcam is more of like a true crime like thriller than this. This is a found footage film. So there you go.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I gave it 4 stabs.
4 stabs.
Definitely wouldn't mind watching it again.
Mm-hmm.
Would recommend it. You know, I think, you know, you have to set aside all the political stuff, and you know, I think it's once you put that out of there, then it's an all right movie.
Awesome. Roger, what about you? Stab it.
I gave it 3 stabs.
3 stabs.
It's not the worst thing I've seen, but it's not the best thing I've seen. So it's average in the middle.
Yeah. All right. Shelly said she gives it 1 out of 5 stabs. She said she's never going to see this again. She hated it from the first minute, and the whole MAGA narrative annoyed her. So understood, Shelly. And then I said, I do believe there are some redeemable parts of this film, mainly the scares, practical effects, like I said in the pros. So I'm not going to give it a 1, but I still think it's bad. I'm going with a 2 stabs on this. And yeah, those are our stabs. Let's move on into Voices from Beyond. And this is where I share any thoughts you guys gave us on social media. And since we have Ray with us today, we're down 1. But this was a lot of fun, and I'm glad Ray was able to join us today. But our friend, Brian M., he said, being a found footage film, Dashcam already had 1 mark against it. But I love you guys and always want to contribute when I can, so I watched it on Hulu this afternoon. We've met plenty of horrible, annoying characters over the 3 seasons of the podcast, but Annie might be the worst. When you find out your main character is anti-vax and a pet abandoner, oh, that's true. She abandoned her kitty cat. That's true. Good point. Good point there, Brian. But If you're a pet abandoner in the first few minutes of the movie, I spent the rest of the thankfully short 80-minute runtime waiting for her to meet an agonizing demise. We all have an Annie in our lives, a person you don't know why you're still friends with, even though they screw things up for everyone except themselves. There are some good scares here and there, and some of the live stream comments were funny, particularly the ma 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 ki ki ki. And then the comment, I seen Blair Witch, you gonna die. And Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? But that's all the positives I can think of. The comments did have a lot of fun stuff in it. I agree, Brian. Brian goes on to say, why did MAGA Annie go to a country that had stricter COVID guidelines? Why is Angela old? What's up with the cult? How is the battery still going on the phone? Where was the dash cam? How did this manage to be grosser about poop than Terrifier? Oh, that's true. Terrifier's another movie with some poop in it. Why would you get an Ariana Grande tattoo? We'll never know. As much as we all dislike Triangle's ending, at least it had one. I had to fast forward through the credits, though. Once Annie started rapping them, I was hoping something would finally happen when she got out of the car, but of course not. This obviously gets a one stab for me, with apologies to Street Trash. Wow. Ray, did you watch Street Trash in the beginning of the season?
No, I didn't, man. I didn't watch it.
So I would recommend not to waste your time.
Okay.
Actually, you can go on I think you can go on YouTube and catch like the final 15. That was fun, but the rest of it is just garbage.
Did you watch the remake?
No, did you watch the remake?
No, I haven't watched it.
All right, interesting. All right, so that takes us through our Voices from Beyond. Brian, thanks for giving that to us. We truly appreciate it. Let's move on into Loose Ends. And this is where we go through any last thoughts we have or fun facts. Ray, did you come with any fun facts you want to share with us?
No, I mean, just from what's already known, I think that Annie Hardy's an actual musician.
Yeah.
Playing a semi-fictional version of herself in the movie. I kind of went down a little rabbit hole of how the director ripped off her band car idea and some other stuff, but I didn't really give it too much attention after that.
Yeah. As I was digging through and actually looking up more about Annie, just because when I found out like this character was based on her real life car band thing, and then I went through and saw she did have some questionable views like during the COVID times, but I do feel like this film was slightly exploitive to her, because I know she was ratcheting up this character that is based off of her and is her. But I know when it came out, she felt very negative about it because of the how people perceived her, and I felt slightly bad for her. I know she's got very troubled life with addiction. She lost her boyfriend and her son in the same year, so she's lived a rough life, and the fact that she's even like standing upright and not just laying in a gutter somewhere. I can sympathize with that a little bit. But anyways, I got off on a tangent. Let's give some fun facts. All right, so the film was developed by Rob Savage and Jed Shepard, who initially came up with the idea based on Annie Hardy's series Bandcar, live-streamed YouTube videos in which she worked out song ideas while driving around Los Angeles. Savage said, when Shepard showed me the show, the first conversation we had was, oh, that's a cool setup for a found footage movie. The version we were talking about pre-host was very much just using the Bandcar setup, but the idea was to probably take it to studios, to probably try and get an actor to play the role. Savage eventually asked Hardy to star in the film, though. So just a little background. And then the only other thing I have is that we ended up in a amusement park, and the wooden roller coaster in the woods is located at Dreamland Margate, Kent. And this is the oldest roller coaster in the UK, having opened in 1920. The roller coaster is known as the Scenic Railway and is one of only 8 such scenic railways left in the world, and it requires a human brakeman who rides on a seat between the carriages to operate the brakes as it travels along the track. So that's some like old school roller coaster info for you. Any roller coaster heads out there, there you go. There's some info on the coaster from Dashcam. All right, so this takes us to the end of the podcast and one of my favorite segments, which is Wheel of Death. And this is where we first and foremost must replace Dashcam on the Wheel of Death. Roger, with you being our esteemed guest today, can you please grab the Frankenstein trick-or-treat bag? There's only like 3 movies left in there. And pick one out at random and show it to me so I can place it on the wheel. Let me pull the wheel up here. All right. Roger, are you done completing your task?
Yes.
All right. So let's go to the Wheel of Death, and we are opening it up. Roger, what movie did you pick from the great bag?
This is a Derek pick.
Oh, is it The Witch?
It's Robert Eggers 2015.
The Witch.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah, that's right, Ray. The Witch.
I like that one.
I love that movie.
Would you like me to read the synopsis that you have written here on this little
You want
scrap?
to? Go ahead. Read the synopsis.
When a family's newborn disappears and their crops start dying, they start turning on one another.
What a great movie. All right, so it is Save to the Wheel. I'm going to go through and list off the movies on the wheels. We have The Exorcist Believer.
Boo.
Okay, Roger. Roger's letting his feelings known. We also have 31, newly added, The Witch. After that, we have The Wailing. Then Ringu. Pieces. Rogers submitted Deathgasm.
Yay.
How fun would it be if we land on it today?
Very fun.
Deathgasm. Next, we have The Shining. Then we have Night of the Living Dead, the remake, the Tom Savini one. And then we finish out the Great Wheel with Dead Snow. So we're saving this. We're getting back to the wheel. And as we always do, we got to do the chant. You boys ready?
I'm born ready.
You're born ready? Ray, are you ready for the chant?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Wheel of Death.
Wheel of Death. Wheel of Death. Wheel of Death.
And next up, we have Dead Snow, which is my pick. Dead Snow. Have you seen Dead Snow, Ray?
No, I haven't seen it.
This is like some zombie werewolves, I think. Not zombie werewolves.
Snow Nazis.
Snow Nazis. Thank you.
Snow Nazis. All right.
Yeah, Dead Snow. Let's look up where it's showing and let the people know. So it's a 2009 film, and it looks like it's currently on Plex, or you can rent it on Amazon Prime Video for $3.99. So Plex is a free service. You just gotta deal with a couple commercials and all that fun stuff. So everyone check out Dead Snow. And then Ray, any lasting words before we part, sir?
No, it was great being on the show. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to listening to the episode when it comes out. Nice talking to both of you.
Absolutely, Ray. It was very exciting for me when we landed on Dashcam because, like I said, you've been listening for a long time, and we started this up with listeners being able to submit some suggestions. So when we landed on your video, I was ecstatic to finally get you on an episode and chop it up with you. Talking to you guys is just a huge benefit of doing this show, and we try to involve listeners as much as possible. So thanks a ton, Ray, and I'm excited that you can get to share the podcast with your wife and be like, hey, look, I'm on Spotify or whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to share it with her once it's ready to listen to.
Sick. All right. With that, next episode will be our top 5 horror films of 2024, and that will drop January 22nd. And please, everybody out there, pay attention to our socials. I'll be throwing out posts asking for you to give us your favorite films of 2024. So pay attention to socials, and don't miss out and tune in to the end of the season where we'll be taking all of the films we've watched and have them battled out in our deathmatch tournament. If you listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please give us a rating and review if you like what we do. You can find us on Facebook and TikTok by searching Little Bracket of Horrors, and on Instagram by typing at Little Bracket of Horrors. We also have merch available at tpublic.com. Just search for our name in their website search bar or pay attention to our socials for a direct link. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I'm Derek. Roger, say your name.
Roger.
And then Ray, say your name.
Ray.
And we are Little Bracket of Horrors for this episode, and we will catch you on the other side. And we're out.
Sick.
Sick.
Derek, can you pass me my pants?
God damn you, Roger. You just asked me to pass him his pants. I don't know if you heard that.
Thanks, Derek. Oh, thanks, Derek. I'm gonna get my pants back on.
Good.
All
Awesome.
right.
Thanks so much, Ray. We'll talk to you soon, okay, bud?
All right, man. Have a good night.
You too, sir. Bye. Sick.
Sick.
Sick. We're going to cut this off. Unlike what they did to me. All right, Roger. Bye.
Bye, Derek.
Can you hear that? Can you hear that, Roger?
Yes.
Hello?
Is this Ray?
Yes, it's him.
Hey, Ray. How you doing, sir?
Good. How are you?
Good, good, good. Welcome to your first episode recording with us.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. I'm super excited. You're our first guest that isn't already our friend. You're a listener that is completely found us on their own. So this is awesome. I'm super excited about today.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too, man. Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
And Shelly's not with us today, but my buddy Roger, who you may have heard on a couple different episodes, he's recording with us today.
Okay, cool.
Roger, say hi to Ray.
Hello, Ray.
Hey, how you doing, Roger?
I'm good.
Perfect.
Good.
All right, so I got us recording. I'm gonna go ahead and kick the show off, and then anything in this episode, I always let people know, Ray. If there's anything you're not comfortable with, maybe after the fact you may have said something, just let me know. Be like, hey, can we take that out? Or if we get into a conversation where you're like, I don't know if I want this conversation on my shoulders, just let me know, and I'll edit it out. Okay?
Okay, yeah, man. Yeah.
Cool. You have anything to say, Roger?
Your house is not within 500 yards of a school, is it?
Wait a minute. What?
Oh, edit that out. Thank you.
That will be edited. All right, I'm gonna pull up my notes, and then I'll kick off the show, and then we'll get into it how we always do.
All right, man.
Perfect.
Cool.
Distributed by. Sorry, I need to get some water. That's the joy of the podcast and the editing that I do. I'll take out all this garbage, Ray.
Oh, okay. Awesome, man.
So if you if you fart on air, it's cool. I don't know if we'll pick it up, but it'll be fine.
If I do, leave it on.
I like it. I like it.
Derek and I are completely naked right now, just so
Settle
you know.
down. Roger, do not pull the curtain back and reveal the secrets to the podcast. How dare you? All right, distributed by